he started asking me why you are still Muslim, quit being a Muslim. Then finally he goes, okay, then you are not my son anymore. So that was very shocking statement.
Assalamualaikum Sobat Almira. Kisah seorang masuk Islam datang dari berbagai negara di belahan dunia. Kisah Mualaf kali ini datang dari Jepang. Dia adalah bernama Syekh Ahmad Maeno, salah seorang imam di Jepang. Dia telah memeluk Islam dari sejak usia 18 tahun pada tahun 1994. Ia memulai perjalanannya mencari kebenaran dari sejak umur 14. Menurutnya Islam adalah hal yang paling terakhir yang akan datang ke pikirannya, bahwa itu adalah agama yang benar. Dia memiliki banyak pertanyaan terkait dari mana saya datang, kemana saya akan pergi, dan untuk apa saya hidup. Sampai suatu saat pada usia 17, Maeno menjadi salah satu peserta pertukaran pelajar ke Melbourne, Australia, di mana dia tinggal setahun di sana.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Maeno. My given name still is Naoki. I'm from Japan, originally from Aichi, which is the middle of Japan, and currently living in Chiba next to Tokyo and working in Tokyo. And I'm one of the 4 imams of Japan Muslim Association. Yes. My nafs ego, myself, woke up at the age of around 13 to 14 and I started asking myself, where did I come from, where am I going to, and what am I living for? And since I was brought up in Japan, I was born and brought up in Japan, the atmosphere or the closest religion I found was the Buddhism. So I thought if I took that path of the Buddhism, especially the original path of the Buddhism, I thought I could lead to the answers for my quest. I once gave up finding the truth through religions, but then I had the chance of going to Australia, Melbourne, as an exchange student for about a year. Then during my stay there, alhamdulillah, I met one Egyptian family. They treated me very nicely. So knowing them through dealing with them, my biased viewpoint against Islam slowly melted away.
Ketika banyak berdiskusi dengan keluarga dari Mesir, Ahmad Maeno semakin yakin bahwa apa yang ia cari selama ini berada di Islam. Ia yakin bahwa Islam merupakan agama sempurna dan agama yang benar. Namun, ada ketakutan di dalam dirinya karena di masyarakat Jepang orang yang beragama, apalagi menganut Islam, itu sangatlah asing. Namun, ada hal yang meyakinkan dia untuk tidak takut dan berpegang teguh kepada Islam.
After coming to the conviction with Islam that this is the one I was always looking for, I still had fear and anxiety towards my future. Because I was one of those who look at Islam with biased viewpoint against. So I knew if I took the final step, coming across the red line of becoming and entering into the world of Islam and Muslims, how would I be looked at in Japanese society, in my own society? I would be looked at very strange, weird person. That was the reason which made me of coming across the final line. But then watching the film of Malcolm X gave me the last push, encouraged me, alhamdulillah. Because as Malcolm X lived his previous life as gangster and committing all kinds of sins or whatever, then seeing how beautifully, how greatly he changed his life into the life of someone like Saint, very straightforward person. And also seeing at the scenery of the Hajj when he made a pilgrimage to Mecca, which astonished himself. So many people gathered in many places for the purpose of watching soccer or dancing or the concerts, for the purpose of having fun. But people here, gathering here, so many people are gathering for the sake of worshipping one God. Is there any such place other than this place? I said, no. Then I finally understood. Becoming a Muslim does not mean that you have to be a timid person. No, becoming a Muslim is something very cool and beautiful and great. So alhamdulillah, I took the final step and then embracing Islam. So the very night of that day, when I saw the film of Malcolm X, I consider myself that was the time I embraced Islam. I returned back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when I put my knees down and then put my forehead on the floor and pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Ketika sudah bulat untuk memeluk Islam, ada cobaan datang dari keluarganya. Orang tua tidak setuju kalau Ahmad Maeno masuk Islam. Bahkan ada ucapan jika masih menganut Islam, ayahnya tidak menganggap anak kepadanya. Ahmad Maeno berusaha keras memutar otak karena meskipun dia memiliki sedikit penghasilan dari kerja sambilan, selebihnya ia bergantung kepada orang tuanya. Namun pertolongan Allah pun datang kepadanya.
Well, they misunderstood. Although I told my parents my story of coming to Islam from A to Z, but they misunderstood. Yeah, then that's why in the beginning there was no problem actually. But then when social issue happened in Japan appeared, obviously that was due to some fanatic cult called Omu, those who threw the killing poison inside the subway trains of Tokyo. Although it was nothing to do with Islam, they gave a very negative, bad image against having a faith whatsoever, having a particular religion whatsoever. So then there comes matter and issue of ignorance or not knowing about Islam. They thought Islam could be same or very similar to such fanatic people. When I was wanting to take permission from my father to go study abroad in Kuwait for the sake of learning Arabic language. I was already entering a university majoring Arabic language in Osaka. Then he said no. Then he started asking me why you are still Muslim. Quit being a Muslim. I told him no, I can't. Dad, you know that ever since I became Muslim, did I become nuts? Did I become worse than before? He knows inside himself it's not. I mean, his son, didn't become any worse. Then finally he goes, okay, then you are not my son anymore. So that was very shocking statement. But since I was still, although I was having a part-time job and so on, but still somehow dependent to my parents, so I had to find some other way to go on my life. Then next day I went to the masjid in Kobe, then consulted my problem with the Egyptian imam. Then he gave me a recommendation letter to Egyptian embassy to get a scholarship in Azhar University. So I posted that letter to Egyptian embassy, then went back to my parents and then sat together with my parents with all calm atmosphere. Then alhamdulillah, I found my parents okay accepting me again. So alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Ketika kita berpegang teguh atas apa yang menjadi pedoman kita, maka Allah akan menolong kita. Ketika awalnya Syekh Ahmad Maeno tidak mendapat izin bahkan kalimat tidak baik dari orang tuanya, namun dia berusaha keras meyakinkan bahwa apa yang ia pegang merupakan agama yang benar. Itulah kisah mualafnya Imam dari Jepang. Semoga kita bisa mengambil manfaat dari video ini. Terima kasih dan sampai jumpa di video berikutnya. Jangan lupa like dan subscribe. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.